Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of To Be Released. I'm Wokey, and it's just me today. Feeling feeling it today. So, as opposed to forcing it, I said it's cool, bro. Feel better, take a break, kind of chill out because a burnout is for real, and we don't want to. An uninterested Zenrot just lead to that one episode of Modcast where he just played Xenoverse 2 for the entirety of it, and that's no good. So it's just going to be me today. It's a Solo Wokey episode. And as such, it will probably be shorter than a regular one, because I'm not sure how many people just want to hear me alone. I'm better in small doses, and I'm not very good when I'm by myself. I need someone there. So, oh man. So, stuff beforehand. Well, this is a weird one. You know what? I was going to talk about how I'm no longer a mod, but I want to save that for when Zenrot's here, so we can talk about, a former mod to another former mod, and that'd be pretty fun. So I'll just say, for the pregame, which is a segment that I invented for myself, and now I'm kind of regretting that I made this, I guess just to finish off the wrestling thing, because I think at this point, not a lot of people care that I think the last video someone did not like the fact that I spent what was close to 20 minutes on just pure wrestling. So I'll just say I saw WrestleMania and I liked it. It was real fun. Glad Kofi got the belt. Glad Rousey lost the belt because fuck her. And yeah, that's it. So let's actually get into the big boy scale. We only have one unit today on the big boy scale, but he's an extremely. Some would say that this boy has no weakness. Let's talk about Golden Frieza. Tech Golden Frieza. So when he got an easy A, here's his leader skill. It's type 3. It's 3 key, and then attack, defense, and HP, attack, and defense 120%. His super attack went from immense damage to enemy and greater lower defense to immense damage to enemy and massive lowers the defense. His passive skill is now attack plus 80%, damage received minus 80% when HP is 50% or above, plus an additional attack 50%, and damage is received 50% when HP is 49% or below. So when he's dipped below 50%, his reduction turns to 50%, and then he gets an actual just attack increase of 50%, because the attack plus 80% is not tied to his reduction. Okay. And his link skills are Universe Most Malevolent, Strongest Clan in the Universe, Shocking Speed, Revival, Resurrection F, Super God Combat, and Fierce Battle. His categories are Resurrect Warriors, Movie Bosses, Full Power, Transformation Boost, and Wicked Bloodline, which I was going to say, I think that's the new translation for the Frieza clan. But hey, whatever. Anyway, that's Golden Frieza. This is his easy A. As previously established in the modcast, this Golden Frieza already had no weakness. He was the strongest unit in the entire game. So they just really, all they did was make a unit with no weakness at the time have even less weakness in the modern era. You know what I'm saying? So one thing that ended up happening because as he got older was that turned out that attack 70% when HP is 50% or above fucking sucked as a passive. So they completely changed that, so he just gets a flat 80% up, and then when he's lower, he just gets stronger. So when that happens, that's perfectly fine. The problem that you run into him is that during normal events, unless your team is kind of bad, that'll never happen. So it only really is effective in Super Battle Road. And then if you're in Super Battle Road and you dip below 50%, chances are all you're doing is actually just healing. So kind of what's the point? I guess for one turn you could use him, very powerful, but then his reduction goes from 80% to 50%, so you could die very easily. So it's one of those things of like, yeah, he works there, I guess. A lot of people came out and said we're shitting on Zahal for saying that this buff really isn't much. And to be fair, he went from a unit that was unusable to something that's usable, so as far as I'm concerned, the easy A is complete. It just probably isn't as far as you'd want to go. Really, in the grand scheme of things, I think 80% attack up is kind of weak shit. If he's going to be having that for the majority of the time, it should have been 100%, but whatever. Especially when you have units like Super Saiyan 4 Goku who just does flat 150% damage with no qualms at all. I don't think it would have been a big deal to have Golden Frieza do 150% when he's below 49%, especially if it's very rarely ever going to happen. And also, you have to realize that a lot of the teams that he's on are also Healy, so in theory, it will never happen. It's one of those things of like, if it happens, then great. He's powerful, but whatever. So, all that being said, where does he fit on the big boy scale? Well, he still has no weaknesses. So that's still a 5 out of 5 big boy in my book. There was really no chance for him to not be a 5 out of 5 big boy, just because how can you have a unit with no weakness and not have him be a perfect 5 out of 5? That's my question. That's my question to you, listeners out there. How can something so perfect exist? And the answer is, it just does. It just does. So that's our one boy for the big boy scale. It's Golden Frieza, and he has a 5 out of 5. So let's move on to questions, shall we? This is moving on quickly, this is what happens when let me get my phone. This is what happens when it's just me by myself. Is that shit goes quick because I'm like, we need to get going. I don't have anyone to talk to, so that's how it goes. I need to sneeze. One moment. All right, so sorry everyone, I'm back. I'm done sneezing now. So let's look at questions real quick. Let me first find. There was a question on the YouTube channel, so let me just quickly go to the YouTube channel. Again, if you want to submit questions, all you need to do is send us a question, either to when I ask for them on Twitter, or leave a comment below on the actual video. Let's see. Okay, so we actually have okay, yes. Here's the question. It is from Alucard, and his question is, which Dragon Ball villain do you hate the most? And the same for Z and Super. I'm loving the series, by the way. I'm a new subscriber, and I'm loving the diverse content. Well, thank you, Alucard. Let me start by answering the first question. In terms of Dragon Ball, I guess I'll say Yamcha, because I think he kind of sucked as a villain, because he wasn't really... He kind of has like I'm kind of evil, and then he immediately goes. A lot of people, I guess, consider him the early rival, but I don't see him as that. He was just kind of a dick, and he never was on the same power scale as Goku. And to be fair, they were never ever fighting over being... Like, Krillin is the actual first rival to Goku, because he actually cares about being stronger than him. Yamcha just wants to get laid. For Z, let me see. I guess Jiro and the fucking fat guy. Android 19, I believe, is the Android name for him. They're just kind of sucky, and they show up for a bit. They suck. They literally suck people out. They punch Yamcha in the chest, which is fun, but other than that, who kind of cares? And they get dealt with quickly. They die quickly, and then they don't really do anything at all. So I'll say it's them in terms of villains. And for Super, didn't watch enough Super to really know. I hear a lot of people don't like Jiren, but again, I don't have any real opinion on him. So yeah, there you go. Super is just kind of a question up in the air. And as far as, I'm glad you're enjoying the diverse content. This is the only place that will talk to you about Dokkan, and then also play Harry Potter. So there you go. Now, let's see. Let's go on to Twitter questions. Again, thank you, Alucard, for the question. Let's go into the Twitter questions. First question comes in from Paige at Kamehameha, and she asked, if you could, would you get a hug from a Rayleigh or a punch from a Bailey? And for people who don't know, a Bailey is Caramel Man number 22. He is one of Dr. Machine. I believe it's made by like his son, because it's the son from the 90s reboot of a Rayleigh. Anyway, she's supposed to be an evil Rayleigh, which is why she's called a Bailey, because she's a bad Rayleigh. And she was only really in one little thingy, and that was it. But she is basically just a Rayleigh, but evil, so I would not want to take a punch from regular Rayleigh, let alone an evil version of her, so I would rather just get a hug. So there you go. That's my answer. I would like a hug. Thank you for the question. Next question comes from L. Zingen, who asked, what would a Wokey, Zenrot, and Zahal look like if they got Easy Aid? No idea. You're never going to get an Easy A for us, so it's going to be hard to know. Come back in a year when a new version of Wokey, Zenrot, and Zahal are released, and we have to Easy A the old ones. Next question comes in from Bunny Yo, and he asks, can my dog go on the big boy scale? Unfortunately, for the Dokkan big boy scale, you have to either be somewhat Dokkan adjacent, so unless your dog starts making some Dokkan videos, we just can't put him on the scale. He's a very good dog, though. It's a very good dog. Thank you for the question. Next question comes in from Primist, and he asked, what are some interesting / crazy stories when you guys were mods? This is another one where I'm gonna save this one. Ask this question again, because I need to have Zen here so we can actually talk about the crazy stuff. Because it's not enough just to hear from me. I'll save it next week. Next week is all the mod stuff. This question comes in from Anarias. He asks, mainly a question for Zen. What do you like about JoJo Pitter Patter Pop, and are there any tips you would give to newcomers who want to start it? This is very unfortunate because Zen is not here. I will say Zen thinks he just loves, I think, the art style and everything about it. And as for tips, he would say re-roll for that new Jotaro that came out, the Part 4 Jotaro. So there you go. Hope that helps. Thank you for the question. Next question comes from Honey Biscuit, who asked, thoughts on Super Dragon Ball Heroes from what you have seen or played. What is your favorite thing about it? I have not played it at all. I've just seen a lot of it so far, and I can say the thing I like about it is that it has a lot of characters. A lot of weird-ass characters in it. I don't know. People seem to be having fun with the gameplay. It just looks kind of weird to me. But I haven't played it. So if I played it, I feel like it would feel different. But it is what it is. So I'll say that there's just a lot of people in it, and that they figured out to put... It's one of the very few games, modern games, that is basically released with a gacha-style thing, and then all the gacha is basically not paid for. So it's great. That's fantastic. More of that, please. And next question comes in from Doodle, who asks... who is Straw Hat. My bad. This question comes in from Doodle. It says, what's your predictions for Golden Week in Dokkan? I don't know. I think they've been kind of... I don't know. Golden Week is kind of a ways away. So it's not going to be LR Kefla and Caulifla, which is what... Whatever. LR Kefla, Caulifla, and Kale, which is whatever. It's hard to know. After the Dragon Ball thing, I really don't know what could be next for Golden Week. Maybe something to deal with Dragon Ball Heroes, because that just got released. So I'll say that. Dragon Ball Heroes thing. They'll release something from Dragon Ball Heroes. Thank you for the question. Next question comes in from some guy who asks, favorite kind of pie? I really like pumpkin pie, and like... yeah, pumpkin pie is the best. There's another kind of pie that I can't remember the name of, but it's got like, I think it's like almonds and it's whipped creamed on it. I want to think it's called maybe a cream pie, but I actually don't remember. What is it? It's a banana cream pie. Thank you. My sister just came in and told me that it's a banana cream pie. It's not just called cream pie. So that's an assist for my sister on that one. Next question. Thank you for the question. That's the favorite kind of pie. Banana cream pie is pretty good. Next question comes in from Big Ol' Nerd. He asks, what's the funniest meme you have seen in a lately? I guess that one where they just replace all the you cheated yourself things. Because it's just a bunch of people for Synchro. Making fun of people who take Souls games, I guess, too seriously. Souls-style games, which is I'm all for. They should be made fun of. Not that it's bad that they enjoy it, but I think they should be made fun of for how seriously they take it. Just like anyone should be taken seriously if they take it that far. I mean, there's a certain levels of like stuff you can take too seriously, but there's also certain points where you just need to stop yourself and go like, maybe I'm acting like a dumbass. And those people were kind of acting like people who take it that far where they're just like, don't do this. Those people are the worst. And next question comes in from Mahutin Ligan, who asked, why is the Hall wrong about literally every unit in Dokkan Battle? Just to clarify, this is sarcasm, and I ask you to pretend I'm serious for comedy's sake. Well, I'm going to be taking that seriously. The answer is... I think it's because the Hall gets hype for everyone else, but then he starts second guessing the unit. I think that's kind of why he acts the way he does. Not to say, like, whatever. It's his opinion. He can have whatever fucking opinion he wants. But I think he looks at something and he sees a lot of positives, but then he starts saying, well, some of the negatives. And sometimes he's right. Like, I think for Golden Frieza, I don't think Golden Frieza is as good as he is, but some other units, like maybe the Perfect Cell that got an Easy A, that one was... He was, I think, kind of wrong on that one. There was also that time when Super Vegito was getting released, and he said he would be bad, and he ended up being so broken he broke the entire metagame. But then that's another case of him, like, he didn't have the unit in his hands to test with, which I think is always a big factor. So it's always like a guess if something's going to be good or not. So there you go. That's why Zahal's usually wrong for almost literally every unit in Dokkan Battle. Thank you for the question. Next question comes in from Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Johan, who asks, can you do a big boy scale on It Goku Black when he releases on Global? And then he has a picture of sweaty Goku Black. And the answer, as you know, as I've said every single time someone has asked us to put someone on the big boy scale, we don't take requests. I don't take requests. If we do it, it's because I feel like doing it. So, maybe. We probably should do him at some point because he was one of the ones who got skipped. Thank you for the question, though. Next question comes in from Nighthawk, who asked basically, how would you rate Ninja Murasaki on the God on the big boy scale? This is another unit where it's like maybe somewhere down the line we will look back at Ninja Murasaki, but for now, I just told the Johan I wouldn't do it, so can't rate the God. He requires too much thought, too much thinking to be put on the scale so far. So there you go. That's all the questions. So that's really all the time we have here for Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. That's not the name of the show. It's called To Be Released. Alright, sorry everyone. That was a mistake, my bad. So as I said last week, we have to figure out an ending because we still don't have an ending. So allow me, I think I figured out a new ending for it. It's a shame that Zen isn't here to hear it, but I'll try it on him next week and we'll see how it goes. Let me quickly just find it because I have to put it down basically. So how's everyone doing out there as I look for this? As I look for my speech. I should have done this beforehand. But again, I've been not feeling the greatest, so it's been tough. It's been a weird week. Okay. One moment, I almost got it. Alright, I think here it is. Okay. Alright, ready everyone? Here's the great ending. Yeah, I think this is going to be the new ending for To Be Released. I hope you enjoy it. Hello. Okay everyone, I'm Wokey here talking to you about Dokkan. Kids, don't be afraid to say no. Anyone who asks you to play Dokkan is not your friend. Dokkan can and will kill. Remember, don't be afraid to turn to your priest, your rabbi, your minister, your moms, your dads, your teachers, because Dokkan can kill. And if you do play Dokkan, you go to hell before you die. Just say no.